we are going to be opening the podcast talking about something that we've been looking forward to for a long time, and something that we will be talking about for future weeks to come, and that is WandaVision, the first brand new, let me hit that round of applause one time, the first MCU Disney Plus original show. Originally, Black Widow was supposed to be the first thing of Marvel's Phase 4, but due to obviously the movie getting delayed due to COVID and some other shows and whatnot getting moved around, WandaVision is our first taste of Phase 4 of the MCU. So, we'll go ahead and give some brief, non-spoiler thoughts, and then we'll jump right into our spoiler-filled thoughts. It's going to be similar to kind of what we did with The Mandalorian for you guys who followed our Mandalorian coverage week to week as we move forward. And we're looking forward to bringing that to you guys. So, Mo, give me kind of your initial thoughts and reaction to the first 2 episodes that we received today.
So I went into it knowing that it was going to be different. So I wasn't really anticipating too much, but I was really excited for this. And after watching like the first episode, for example, I was honestly, I was blown away. And it's because, Marvel they've been very formulaic, you've kind of known where they're going with things. They take, and this isn't a knock to them because they've done an amazing job, but they've been on the easy route with things. So I think that was good to see something, unique.
Yeah.
So I was watching, and as I was going through it, I think it got progressively better and better. And I'm not super nostalgic to it because I didn't grow up with black and white.
Right.
But
right.
I did watch a lot of 50s, 60s, like sitcoms every once in a while.
I love Lucy, Dick Van Dyke, stuff like that.
Yeah. It was so cool. It was just so cool to see that. Like, since I wasn't old enough, I guess, to appreciate it, it was good that I could like appreciate it now. And when I was watching it, like, I really couldn't stop. I couldn't get my eyes off because it was just like, it didn't seem real because it was Wanda and Vision. Like, you're expecting a Marvel throwdown,
right? And
expecting some action. I just didn't. I can understand why people have mixed reactions just because people are expecting it's a Marvel, experience or whatever. You want something more action, but I was on the other side. I don't know. I just really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So, and then the second episode was great. So
yeah. I guess my initial reaction is I don't know how to feel about it just yet. I think I'm going to have to see the entire series to really appreciate like what this is, or maybe I won't like it and I won't appreciate it. But I definitely had a lot of fun with it, like you did. It just is so left field, and I don't want to say too much without giving until we get into can talk about more spoilers. But overall, I had fun with it. It's just hard for me to give it any type of score or recommendation. It's definitely going to be something where I have to wait and see. But I'm definitely willing to take the journey and tune in every week. It's not something where I'm going to check out, although I think, unfortunately, a lot of people probably will, just being completely honest, because, maybe not a lot of people, but I think the average MCU fan who, not MCU fan, the average movie-going person who's expecting a traditional Marvel thing out of this, they might watch the first episode or two and be like, that was just weird. Like, I didn't know what was going on. I didn't understand the point of it, the trailer? Whatever. Right, exactly. But, so I think it's hard for me to recommend it to everybody. However, I definitely enjoyed it, and I'm along for the journey, and I'm looking forward to next week and everything moving forward. So
I slightly recommended it to Ari. Shout out to Ari.
okay.
But I told him ahead of time. I was like, you probably won't like this, but heck,
Hey,
you might.
give it a try, right?
And give it a try. It was a fun thing to watch. It's more of a sitcom than an actual like Marvel movie.
Yeah. And
that's
well, I was going to give kind of a spoiler warning, then we can jump into all that. So
okay, I wasn't going to go.
So yeah, that's kind of our general thoughts. We'll jump into some spoilery-ish stuff. We won't do like a full breakdown like we did with some of the Mandalorian episodes, just because I don't feel like it's necessary with this show, at least these first 2 episodes. But the whole fact of it being a sitcom pretty much the whole time was very interesting to me. I didn't expect that. I expected things. So obviously, I said spoilers, but in case you didn't know, spoiler alert. At the end of episode 2, everything changes to color, and so I think that's either moving into the next like phase of sitcoms. Because if you notice, the first and second episode have different kind of eras of sitcoms. Like they're both in black and white, but not only did I realize that decades. Just because like I kind of heard it before them from like a few reviewers, but like I could tell a distinction between the styles of the episode 1 and episode 2, and some average Joe people might not be able to tell, but I thought it was pretty clear. Like, okay, this is 60s, this is 70s, or 50s, 60s, whatever it was. I don't know exactly what it was, but there were different distinct styles. And as the world started to change at the end, I think I got more excited. And the second episode definitely brought a lot more, I guess, intrigue for me because of everything that went on. And it definitely gave me a vibe of like, there's something's not right here. And like, there's an underlying something going on. And yeah, it's the first episode was more just like, these are the characters. This is kind of the world they're in right now. Except the scene where the guy, Vision's boss, like fell down at the table.
Oh gosh, I love that scene.
That turned into like kind of a psychological horror scene for like 30 seconds. And it was really like, it kind of creeps me out because I was like, what's happening?
That's what I love about it.
And like the lady's there laughing, and it keeps cutting to her laughing and being like, what does she keep saying? Like, stop.
She keeps saying it. Well, she goes, help.
Okay,
stop.
Yeah, I thought she was saying stop it. She's like,
she said stop.
But she was laughing,
stop.
And it was really creepy. And I was just confused. And then it just cuts. And so I was like, that was interesting. And so I think that was kind of a hint of something's not right. And also, like, I could see them going in a sort of horror direction with some of these episodes. Like, maybe not full-on horror, but kind of like Twilight Zone-esque horror elements.
I wanted to talk about that specific scene because I absolutely love that scene because she, real quick to cap over what Joe said before going into that scene. One thing that I love about this the most, the first 2 episodes especially, is that Wanda is very similar to the audience, to us. And that's what I love about it. She's starting to pick up on what's going on a little bit as we are as well. And it's a cool perspective to look at because like we're confused what's happening.
Right.
So is she. She's starting to understand some things. And like Vision, on the other hand, he's understanding it too, but he kind of just goes about it and tries to forget it. He kind of just plays it off a little bit. But she's like, okay, what's going on? Like she's starting to pick up on the little things like we are. And that's the cool.
And I was just gonna say, Vision is also like very optimistic. Like the whole. Yeah, well, go ahead and finish your thought. Then I'll say one other thing that I found kind of funny in the second episode about him.
So, in that scene specifically, she was the boss's wife was like, stop, stop, stop. And then she looks over at Wanda. She starts like once she said like stop like 50 times, but once she made it to like her 40th time of saying stop, she started looking over and she was like still laughing and saying stop. That's why it was kind of like horror-esque. But like she was starting to say stop, not to her husband, but to Wanda, because she thought that she was like she was doing this, which made it so like I was like, now people inside the TV show like they're starting to know, like now they're starting to like kind of like I don't know, I feel like maybe this is leading towards somewhere like the people around her will start noticing too, like the characters or whatever. And then Vision ended up helping, and he got whatever was stuck in his throat out, and then what it just picked up from there, and he was going to get a promotion or something like that, and that's what it left.
Yeah, let's address the end of the first episode, and then we can get into some of the second episode stuff, other than I obviously mentioned the ending. But the first episode, the way it ends when it backs out and it was them on the TV and there was someone at the desk, I was slightly confused. Is that a cliffhanger to there's something going on in this, like Truman Show-esque? Or was that just like the end of the thing and it was just like kind of a callback to older TV stuff? Like,
no, that was the guy who's
that's what I took it as. That's what I took it as, but I didn't know for sure, and it's kind of left as a cliffhanger, ambiguous, which obviously it'll get addressed at some point in the next few episodes. But
that's the other thing too. I like not knowing who the clear-cut villain. Like, I don't know anything about it. I know some like things about it. I know kind of what's happening, but like I don't know any like big picture stuff. That's what I like about this.
Yeah,
and the especially it was weird. Or do you want to go ahead and talk about like the end of the second episode?
Yeah. Let's go ahead and get into the second one. So that was kind of our first episode, general thoughts, couple plot points. The second one, is all about them trying to fit in, and as they're trying to fit in, they are starting to realize, like Vision's still pretty optimistic, but that's when Wanda starts to realize, not only is something going on here, but like, I don't know if I want to fit in and be a housewife like I wanted to, and live this type of lifestyle that she's living in this, supposedly alternate reality, which we'll find out what it all means and what it all is. But where it started to get like really weird for me is the whole when they were having the girls meeting, and then obviously, so the girls meeting was just weird, but then but I was like, that would happen in an old TV show, whatever. I was like, that's weird, but not sketchy or whatever. What was sketchy was then the radio signal thing happens. It's like Wanda, and
is this guy doing it to you, or is this something to you, or it was something like that?
Yeah, I can't remember exactly what whoever was speaking said, but it was just like, okay, and that was kind of the first sign of whatever. Then the talent show happens, and the talent show, I thought it was hilarious. I was about to mention this while you're talking, but how when Vision kind of swallowed that gum, like it basically simulated that he was drunk is what I took it as. But I was confused how this piece of gum made him like that. But I found
did you see the little animation of the
the animation was cool.
The gears.
With the gears, yeah.
And that was cool.
And I appreciated the animated intro too. That was really cool. Like there's little stuff in there that like the average person is gonna be like, oh, that's weird, that's old timey, blah blah blah. But like I like that kind of stuff. I think it's creative. I think it's different. I think it adds to the aesthetic of the show. But anyway, the talent show thing happens, and Vision just starts, for lack of better terms, just starts pulling things out of his ass, like just doing crazy random stuff, and none of it was planned because obviously he was, somehow messed up from the gum. And it just gets interesting. And then these people are like fascinated by them. Then you can tell the people of this kind of town are, which by the way, what's the town called again?
I don't know.
They say the town. Sorry, we didn't. Hold on. We didn't do our homework for.
We didn't do our research.
But whatever the town's called, the townspeople are starting to realize,
pick up on things.
Y'all are different. Like that you just showed up. You are doing these things that we've never seen before. Like clearly they're starting to pick up. And then obviously the character who's hosting the show, that is Carol Danvers' best friend, the pilot lady. That's her daughter, correct?
Yeah.
And that's been confirmed, right?
Yeah. And there was the reference of Stark with the new toaster.
Yes. Okay, the commercials too. We didn't mention that. The commercials were funny. I appreciated those little details. I thought those were, and they had some good nods, like the Stark Industries toaster and like stuff like that, nods to the MCU. But anyway, the end of episode 2 you wanted to get into, and so I kind of led up to that.
Yeah. So once we get towards the very end, so Wanda is walking outside and she sees under like the sewer, the cover gets moved, and I'm like, what's about to happen here? And this
Pennywise. No, I'm kidding.
So out comes this dude in a bee suit or beehive suit or whatever. I don't know what the suit's specifically
looking like he's
called.
From the Upside Down.
Yeah, I'm like, what? Like, I was expecting maybe like someone we knew or like I don't know, the like villain or something. Maybe that is the villain, but like he's in a bee suit, and he gave her like a death stare or something. I was like, what the heck? And then it just rewinds.
Everything rewinds, which
you didn't see nothing.
Right, which and then it goes back to them and it starts to go color.
And this is where I'm starting to piece out a little bit. I think once she starts noticing things, every time she starts to notice something, things start to change to get her to forget about it. And what it takes is what you give. So in that type of way, what I'm trying to say is that a hint is given away every time she notices something. And I know it's kind of difficult. It's kind of, I'm trying to describe it in a way.
Sound like you're talking about Tenet.
Or Inception. I know. Is Christopher Nolan directing this?
Yeah. No, I'm joking.
No, but what I'm picking up from is that when she noticed that he was doing that, they rewinded for her to forget it, but it came with a price because now they're moving into a decade. So now she's starting to pick up on things. Now things are changing, and now, she forgot about that one accident, but she's starting to pick up on more and more now. And it's like you take what you give, and you give what you take.
Right,
like
and time moves forward. If you change time, you're gonna keep moving forward.
That's one reason why I just really love this show is like it's up in the air, but like I'm starting to pick up on things. If it's true, then it's cool. Like I think that's really cool.
Definitely. And yeah, it was just like the time manipulation thing is clearly something. Clearly, it's something along those lines. But it's still just so hard to tell. And the majority of both the first 2 episodes plays like a sitcom. But I think it's those little things that are going to, and those little things that not everyone may notice, like the little details that are going to add up to the importance of what is happening and what even is happening. You know what I mean? Because we still don't really have a clue even after the first 2 episodes of exactly what's going on, other than you kind of start to piece stuff together. But yeah, I thought overall it was great as far as an entertainment standpoint. Like I said, it's still hard for me to know exactly how I feel. After talking it out, I think I definitely am starting to lean more toward the good side, but it's still really hard for me to tell until I see everything. But that's kind of our general thoughts on the show, the first 2 episodes. We're looking forward to episode 3 and so on. And I think if they start to bring some of those horror elements, it could get very interesting. And obviously suspense. And yeah, I don't know. I'm looking forward to it though. It's definitely not going to be for everyone, like we said. But excited to see where the show goes. So